Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback Friday, your opportunity to get some good review by listening to episodes from the past that Jason has handpicked to help you today in the present and propel you into the future. Enjoy.
Speakers, publishers, consultants, coaches, and info marketers unite. The Speaking of Wealth Show is your roadmap to success and significance. Learn the latest tools, technologies, and tactics to get more bookings, sell more products, and attract more clients. If you're looking to increase your direct response sales, create a big-time personal brand, and become the go-to guru, the Speaking of Wealth Show is for you. Here's your host, Jason Hartman.
Welcome to today's show. This is Jason Hartman, your host, and as you may or may not know, every 10th show we kind of do a special tradition here that originated with my Creating Wealth show, where we do a topic that is actually off topic on purpose, something just to do with general life and more successful living, and that's exactly what we're going to do today with our special guest. Again, 10th show is off topic, and it is very much intentional, just for personal enrichment, and I hope you enjoy today's show. And we will be back with our guest in just a moment.
Now's your opportunity to get the Financial Freedom Report. The Financial Freedom Report provides financial self-defense in uncertain times, and it's your source for innovative, forward-thinking investment property strategies and advice. Get your newsletter subscription today. You get a digital download and even more. Go to jasonhartman.com to get yours today.
My pleasure to welcome Laurie Gerber to the show. She's the president of Handel Group Life Coaching, and she is a life coach, but she also manages about 20 life coaches, and they teach a great program in different locations all around the country, if not even internationally, I don't know, but we'll hear that from her. And the Handel Group is instrumental in the corporate world, but on the life coaching side, a little more emphasis on the personal world as well. Of course, these things are holistic. They all go together, as we know, and I think we'll look forward to hearing from Laurie today about her 5 steps and just about her coaching success as well. Laurie, welcome. How are you?
I am very well. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
My pleasure. So you're coming to us from Manhattan, New York City, right?
It's true. Born and bred New Yorker.
Yeah, great place. I love it. Tell us about the Handel Group and what they do.
Okay, great. Well, the Handel Group has been around for a while, and we are working right now in corporate settings, in private settings, and in education. We're super proud of our work teaching the Handel method at MIT, Stanford, NYU, and a bunch of different universities. That's kind of where we test things out with the smartest minds in the country. And we also work in companies like AOL and Condé Nast, the New York Times, basically doing corporate consulting, developing high potentials, creating honest cultures. That's something that's very popular and very helpful. And the world that I run is everything we do with individual humans. So we work with executives, moms, artists, business owners, all different kinds of people who come to us individually for help with career, their relationship to money, their relationships in general, love, body, health, spirituality. And I have about 20 coaches, like you said, and we work with people over the phone, over Skype, in groups. We have a social network. We have weekend retreats. We have combo packages of yoga. We do all kinds of fun ways for people in any budget to start to work honestly on what they want in their lives.
Laurie, I hate to sound like a skeptic here, but there are so many life coaches nowadays. And it seems like with the economy that we've been in, everybody's looking to kind of invent a career for themselves. And that's great. That's entrepreneurial. But what differentiates you from the rest? A lot of your peers are, I'll say it, a little bit hokey, and a little bit airy-fairy.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I'm sure that frustrates you because it's true in my industry as well. So what are maybe talk about the 5 steps, if you would, and let's kind of dig down.
I really want to be clear. I my whole life have been looking for teachers that I could believe in, and I am a personal growth junkie. I have been looking for a method that works, and I've tried a lot of different things. What I love about the Handel Group is that there's a method. There really are 40 different exercises that seem to work every time that we've tested at MIT. And we just keep doing what's working. We just keep testing new methods. So I love that we teach a method. We're not just going from our opinions. And I also love that we require our coaches to walk their talk. And the main talk that we teach is personal integrity, which means you dare to say what you think is ideal for human beings to do and be and say, and then you live in accordance with that in the areas of love, with food, with money, with relationships with your parents, right? So we require our coaches to live by what they teach. And then we require them to do all the work on themselves that they're going to teach other people, which means we rarely ever graduate a new coach. So I'm really proud of that. And we also teach telling the truth, which is not popular enough yet. So that's what I think differentiates us and makes me very proud to be part of this method, not just because when I thought about being a life coach, I laughed. I thought that sounded like the dumbest thing in the world because what the heck's a life coach, right? But when I found the method and taught myself the method and did the method on myself, then I caught on to the special sauce.
Fantastic. So, what is the method?
Well, the method consists, again, of about probably 40 different exercises, and we're always kind of adding new ones. But essentially, there is deep reflection on your dreams, your ideals, and then what gets in the way, of course. And so plenty of work on busting your own excuses, on being able to understand your logic, your bad logic, the role of what we call the chicken and the brat, which is your fear voices and your I don't feel like it voices. And then we design a set of promises and consequences for you that are specifically designed for you, that are your perfect stepping stones to getting from where you are right now to where you say you want to be. And that's where the magic starts because that's the actual tool of that's a tool for the muscle of personal integrity. So when I have my 5 steps here right in front of me for if you want to start to fall in love with money. And my whole push is I want more people who want good things for the world because ultimately I'm just an idealist. I just want the world to be better. I have kids, I want my kids to grow up in a world that's just and beautiful and loving and peaceful and safe. And we're not on track for that. And I believe in capitalism, right? I believe in people developing new things and being entrepreneurial and going for theirs. And I want to teach more people who want to help the world to want more money and do more good and be successful at it. And that's what I think personal integrity makes possible. So I have my 5 steps. That's one of them.
Yeah, I want to keep going through the 5 steps. This is interesting.
Okay. So the first thing I want you to do, and who I'm talking to right now is someone who's like, yeah, I'd like to make more money. Yeah, I'm a good person. Yeah, I want to do more of what I love in the world and make money for it. Yeah, I want, because I think a lot of people think making money is bad. I think they think it's dirty. I think they think it will make them not a good person or it'll turn them into something they don't want to be. And to me, that smacks of ignorance, fear, and possibly even a little arrogance or holier than thou. And I'm out to break that up. So first, step 1, change your mind. Change your mind. And I challenge my clients to come up with 10 good reasons for why you should have more money. And this is a creative activity. 10 good, and it bends your mind. Okay, so you could come up with something like, well, if I had more money, I'd eat organic, and that would be good for me. If I had more money, I'd take my children to see the world, and that would be good for them. If I had more money, I'd be more relaxed, and that would make me a better spouse, and that would make me nicer to my dog. Or, if I had more money, I'd be a philanthropist. I'd give more to causes I believe in, and I'd feel better, and I'd be happier. So it gets your mind to start thinking about money as a good thing. So this is my first exercise to change your mind. Step 2, find your role models. A lot of people tell me, well, gosh, there's 1,000 yogis, yoga teachers in my area, or I'm just another nutritionist or another occupational therapist or whatever. Thank you. We can spend all day finding examples and statistics to prove that you should stay on your couch. I challenge my clients to find the role models they admire and only watch the role models they admire. I'm sure you teach that too. Step 3, make your plan. Right? A lot of people are chanting and oming and journaling and manifesting and eyeing and doing all kinds of fun things to bring forth their dream, and they forget the part where they have to write down the number they want. And people don't want to write down the number. Can I tell you? They don't want to get on the scale either. People, for some reason, They don't want to confront that specific number, okay? So I didn't even want to do it either. I remember when I had to write down, what do you want by the time you're 40? $5 million by the time I'm 40. Ooh, I didn't want to say that out loud, right? Because it brings up all that chicken and brat energy. So you have to write down the number, and then not only do you have to write down the steps of the plan to get there, you have to write 3 or 4 scenarios of how you're going to get there. Not because you're going to do one of those scenarios. We don't know. Right? We believe
how far out are you typically having people write this financial goal, for example?
It very much depends. I would go for a year usually if I'm starting with someone, 6 months and a year. But for coaches, we go out 5 years because we're looking big and long term. It really depends on the person and at what stage they're coming to us. But definitely, most often we have people dream a year out because that's an amount of time they can it's enough time you can get something done, but it's not so far off that it's an illusion. Okay, so then 3 to 5 different scenarios. Not because you have to do those scenarios per se, because it bends your mind to start thinking of resources and actions and believing in what you are saying you want. I remember my coach doing that to me. It blew my mind. One year I argued with her. I said, I'm going to increase my business 10% this year. I was so proud of myself. She goes, no, double it. I was like, what are you talking about, double it? That's crazy. I've never doubled it before. She's like, thanks. That's a nice theory. How about double it? I said, fine, double it. And then she sent me home to write 3 to 5 ways I could double it. And it was a thinking project. It was creative. I had to sit there and create and think and noodle it out and be with it. And that's what I want everybody to do. Honor your dream that way, right? So that was really fun. And we did double that year. It was very, very magical. Step 4, keep promises and keep track. Okay, I don't care if you fail. Failing feels better than not getting off the couch. This is where all the people who are doing yoga and doing meditation and doing all those wonderful things where you track your own attention comes in very handy. Start paying attention. Are you sticking to the plan you made? Are you doing daily talking about your goal to someone? If you are not talking about your business or your goal to other people, I promise you're not getting anywhere with it. So promises must include talking to other human beings about your goal or about your business, about your career. And then, let's see, last step, dare to do business. I just start to dare people because people are waiting till they have the perfect idea or the perfect resources or the perfect partners or the perfect, business plan before they start. And I just want them to start because learning is priceless. And if you don't start, you're never going to learn. And if you don't fail, you're never going to learn how good it feels to be doing something off the couch.
One of the things I say to people I train all the time is if you want to succeed more often, just increase your failure rate. It's just the odds are so in your favor if you'll just be willing to fail more often.
I fail every day.
Absolutely.
I risk every day and I fail every day.
And the other part of it is that the syndrome is so dangerous, the syndrome of getting ready to get ready. The people that never actually they never actually dare to do business, as you call it, because they're constantly getting ready to get ready. They're always wanting to make sure everything is right. They got to get everything set up. They've got to get everything arranged, everything figured out.
We have a word for that.
Life simply doesn't work that way. Life works with managing the chaos as you move through the process. What's your word for it?
Chicken. I love everything you said.
So that's the chicken part of it. What's the brat part of it?
The brat is, the brat when you see the kid who doesn't want to get out of the pool at the end of pool time. I don't want to, Mom. Just 5 more minutes. That's how we are with our television show, our social network, our email addiction, our love addictions, our food addictions, our everything that we say we don't have time to start that business. Or we don't have time to finish that plan because of X, Y, Z, right? Or it could sound like, but my kids, I can't with my kids, but I have to take care of this person, or there's all different flavors, right? Well, my parents didn't raise me right. I'm not disciplined enough. I'm too fat, too young, too old, too purple. There's some list of reasons, and usually it's not just one. I have found approximately 7 layers of excuses behind people's inaction or inability to finish a plan and do something. So that gets the flavor of the brat.
Okay, so that's you covered all 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell us about some of the exercises. Well, first I have a question before we talk about that. Why do you keep mentioning things like yoga and so forth? What's the relation?
Well, interestingly enough, I think the way y'all found me was through a yoga elephant journal or some form of yoga post I had made, because I'm very interested in infiltrating the world of already conscious people, of quote-unquote spiritually minded people, people who are trying to make the world better. That whole sector of humanity is very interesting to me, because I feel like that is a group of people that is part of the kind of solutions I want for the world, making the world a better place, but is underempowered. Very good at using spiritual practices, very good at wanting good things, but not that effective or powerful. And I actually think making money helps with being powerful. I know that might be a kind of controversial thing to say, but I think money does give a person power, right? When you have money to donate, you get to say what causes you want to give it to. When you have money, people treat you differently. And so I want that sector much more empowered about their money and really about having their dreams come true. That's what it's ultimately for, because money is just energy. It's not about the money in and of itself.
Laurie, tell us about some of the exercises that you do. Your course, your beginning course, is this the first step people go to a weekend course?
That is one of there are many ways people can get involved. I do a weekly teleseminar on Mondays called Wake Up Your Week. We do weekend courses in New York, Boston, Laguna Beach, LA, San Francisco, Florida, all different kinds of places around the country. And essentially, or private coaching. Some people just come right in and get a private coach. So, but wherever you come in, you're always going to start with the dreaming exercises. You're always going to start with having to articulate in a very juicy, sensory way. And if you know anything about the law of attraction, you know how important your senses are. Articulating what it is you want, which is in and of itself upsetting to the chicken and the brat, right? They don't like to say. They don't like to say.
And you have an offer for people listening for a discount on your weekend course, right? That you're going to give that out later in the show.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, though, how much does the weekend course cost?
Up until now and up through July 1st, it has been $400, and it is going up to $600 on July 1st. We just could not afford.
And just so we get an idea, how many people are at that course? How many people attend it usually?
In New York, approximately 50 people attend. In other places around the country, between 12 and 30. But they're getting bigger and bigger, which is why it's just, and we always have people do about 15 pages of homework before they do coaching of any kind, because we get to know you. We are not slapping a method on you. We are talking directly to you and your issues. So again, because that's so cumbersome and now they're getting so large, hence the slight price increase.
Right. Okay. And so that's the course, and you're going to have a special offer, so listeners, stay tuned for that. You'll have a special offer here toward the end. And what do you do in the course? I mean, tell us about some of the exercises. Are these sort of like the, and I hate to make comparisons, but I just will. I did LifeSpring, for example, many years ago.
Yeah.
Loved it, by the way. But is this like LifeSpring, the forum, things like that? Is it experiential learning? Or what's involved in the course? What are some of the exercises?
That's a great question. And I love experiential learning, by the way. One way in which it's different than some of those courses is it ends at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So
yeah, not at midnight. Okay.
Kind of remarkable what we get done in a weekend that ends at 4 or 5. We're very proud of that. So it is a crash course. So we absolutely basically condense our entire method into a weekend, 2 days from 9 to 4 or 5. In New York, it's 5 because we have more people. But we break into smaller groups. So essentially, we move you through the entire method and give you a taste of the whole thing. So from dreaming to excuse busting to being able to write a good promise and consequence for yourself and learn how to get yourself to keep a promise to yourself, to working on telling the truth, what we believe makes good communication. That's all day one. I'm just going to give you the syllabus. And then day 2, we go into more what makes you who you are, what personality traits you have, which ones you want to keep, which ones you want to discard, what's the relationship with your lineage, your family, who made you, who raised you, and then all the things that have ever happened to you in your life and how that has shaped you, and sort of beginning to reinterpret that. So some of that may sound like things that happen in other weekend courses for sure. There is some experiential nature. I mean, you will find people crying in our courses from time to time, but it's a lot of practical work. You are sitting and writing and rewriting and workshopping and talking and noodling out, restructuring your own life. So yes, a little experiential in the fact that you're going to feel feelings for sure, and you're going to go through memories for sure, but it's very straightforward intellectual material as well. Like we're teaching you a way to think, and you're applying it.
And you say there are 40 exercises in the weekend course?
No, 40. I'm estimating 40 for the basic method. The weekend covers our main staple, 8. But you're getting a lot of teaching in that week. I mean, it's a lot of informational, conceptual conversation. If you don't like to listen, you would hate it, honestly. So people who are kinesthetic learners may not belong in that room, because it's not, I've been to many workshops myself, and there's some that are like, you're up, you're out of your seat, you're running around, you're not going to walk on coals, you're not going to break bricks, there's none of that. You're really having a deep intellectual inquiry about your life and digging deep into your own heart. And you're going to get a lot of personal attention. You're going to be, one of the things I also think is so unique and special is that you will have written 15 pages about your life and your dreams, and there's going to be a human being in that room who's read that and is looking at you and going, here's what I think about that. So that's special still that we get to do.
Yeah, okay, so tell us about some of the exercises, in general, for the whole method, whatever you want to talk about. Maybe something someone can use or ponder to help improve their life. I mean, certainly it's better to be there, it's better to be engaged with an actual coach.
But what can you do in lieu of that?
Give us some do-it-yourself tips.
Yeah, well, again, I'm always going to recommend starting with the dream statements. If you can't do a dream statement, it's like putting the address into your GPS. If there's no address in the GPS, the car does not know where to go. So don't even bother with the rest if you can't articulate how you want to feel in your relationship, what you want to see when you look at that bank account, and how you want to feel about looking at that bank account, and why do you want to do that business? Why do you want to have that partnership with that person? So that's the first thing, is get yourself to write down your dreams, and we tell people to write them in the present tense. Why do you think that is?
Because the mind perceives them as already being achieved?
I knew you would know that. Yeah,
Sorry.
Exactly. Of course.
I've taken the advanced class already.
I bet your people understand what I'm talking about, but the question is, will they do anything about it? So first, dare to dream, dare to articulate it, put it in the present tense, get yourself to feel it, get yourself vulnerable enough, give yourself goosebumps. And then we call it purging. You write down everything in your head about why you can't have it. Now, a lot of New Agers think that that's bad energy. I don't want to say the negative stuff. I don't want to go down there again. I don't want to. To which I say, too bad, we're going. If you can't go into the dark, you're not going to come out to the light. So let's see what's in that barf. Let's see what's in there. Let's look at the chunks and see what has made you sick. And really go to town. Say the truth. Say all that negative stuff. And then we do this beautiful, we actually color code the purge, right? We actually look for, okay, where's the chicken? Where's the brat? Where's the bad logic? Where's the message from your parents? Where's that trait you have you need to work on? Where's that conversation you never had? And we literally make a color-coded list of what you can stop belly aching about, right? Because some of that stuff is ridiculous, and you can see it once you write it out. And then there's something to do about the other 7 things. And now here you are with a plan of what you need to do about the real problems. Then this is very hard to do without a coach, I have to admit, but developing the appropriate promises and consequences. So when I, had this conundrum of wanting to double my business, and I really needed to, I developed a rule for myself, a promise that I would make 3 contacts a day, reach out to 3 people and talk about the business before noon, or else I don't remember, something like I couldn't have dessert that night, some form of consequence that had me pay attention. And then every day I didn't want to do it, right? I waited till 11:50, which is so stupid, because after I did it, even if I failed or even if I didn't get any answers, I still felt great about myself because I was in integrity. I was doing something in alignment with my dream. So everybody ends up with a contact promise. Everybody ends up with conversations they have to design and have. Everybody ends up with an exercise promise. Everybody ends up with food promises. Everybody ends up with sleep It's the basic stuff that if you would just put that stuff in, everything would get better. So that's the very basic exercises I can recommend to anyone at any stage. But then there's these fun advanced ones like 10 reasons why you should have more money, and finding your role models, and doing interviews with people, and 6-month plans and year-long plans, and different fun things we do depending on your specific need or circumstance.
Sure.
Does that answer?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. Well, hey, give out your website and tell people about the special offer you have for them.
Okay, great. So go to www.handelgroup.com, HANDELGROUP.com, and you can find out all about our corporate world and our education world and our private offerings and a million workshops and teleseminars. If you want to do our flagship course, our weekend course anywhere in the country, we invite you to come as our guest with a $100 off discount. And we'll put this up on the website, of course, for you, where you can get it where you're hearing this podcast. But the code is going to be CWS, stands for Creating Wealth. S, what's the S?
Show.
Creating Wealth Show, right. CWS.
My main show.
There you
the
go.
Creating Wealth Show, CWS.
CWS 100 CCC. So that stands for Creating Wealth Show, $100 off, and CCC Coaching Crash Course.
Okay,
so
great.
that will get you, if you put that in when you register, you will automatically get a $100 discount.
Any more thoughts before you go, Laurie, on how you see like the sort of do-gooder mentality, not wanting to create, enough abundance for themselves, or having that holier-than-thou sort of cocky, bratty attitude of, I'm above money, or that type of thing?
Well, I'm calling BS on all that. That's part of my mission as a longtime idealist and do-gooder myself, who definitely looked my nose down at wealth for a long time and have sort of had a reckoning with that now that I have children and very big dreams that include having power to change the world. So I think, what I run into is these very noble feelings in people about not wanting to care about money, right? And the problem is you lose out on all of the wonderful feelings of being able to create a game in life or create a challenge in life and win at it, all the fun of being able to have things that you want, all the fun of being able to give things that you want to give, all the fun of being able to have power in places where you didn't before. And so I am truly trying to show you the twist, right? That maybe, just maybe, if you are one of those people who thinks having money is something you shouldn't care about, that there might be some fear there. There might be some ignorance there for sure, right? Or some not wanting to deal, some brattiness, or even some form of being better than maybe someone in your family, maybe someone in your past, maybe just better than a subset of humanity that you're judging. And I just want you to know that's not turning out very well. That is not going to end up making you happy, and it's not going to end up giving you the legacy that you really want to leave for future generations. So that's the twist I'm letting you in on, and it's for your own good, and mainly also because I need partners in helping to make the world better. We need a lot of people, a lot of hands on deck to work with this world that we are slowly destroying. We need a lot of people to feel like they have the power to make change. And so I am begging people to get out of their own way and start saying what they want and going for it and achieving it.
Right. Great. Good stuff. Well, Laurie Gerber, thanks so much for joining us today. I appreciate it, and I hope listeners will take advantage of the offer you gave them. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for your time.
What's great about the shows you'll find on jasonhartman.com is that if you want to learn about investing in and managing income properties for college students, there's a show for that. If you want to learn how to get noticed online and in social media, there's a show for that. If you want to know how to save on life's largest expense, there's a show for that. And if you'd like to know about America's crime of the century, there's even a show for that. Yep, there's a show for just about anything. Only from jasonhartman.com. Or type in Jason Hartman in the iTunes store.
This show is produced by the Hartman Media Company, all rights reserved. For distribution or publication rights and media interviews, please visit www.hartman.com. hartmanmedia.com or email media@hartmanmedia.com. Nothing on this show should be considered specific personal or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions of guests are their own, and the host is acting on behalf of Platinum Properties Investor Network, Inc. exclusively.